It may have taken a couple of weeks longer than both he and fans of the Chicago Bears hoped, but on Sunday afternoon versus the Dallas Cowboys, Ben Johnson notched the first of what is hopefully many wins in his head coaching career with a 31-14 victory at Soldier Field. And while it wasn't a perfect performance, it was impressive enough to serve as notice to those who thought the Bears were dead and buried after a 0-2 start. Don't count this team out just yet. After Ben Johnson and the Bears celebrated like maniacs in the locker room after the win, the first-year head coach was able to compose himself and speak with members of the media about what he saw during the victory. Johnson on what the messaging for his team was during the week. I told the guys in the locker room our points of emphasis going into the week were playing great situational football, and I'm talking about third down, red zone, and 2-minute, and I thought they really answered that bell. I thought we were statistically better than that team in all three of those areas, and that's a good formula for us to come out on top this week. In the red zone, Dallas scored touchdowns on just one of their 4 trips, while the Bears were 2 for 3 in the red zone. Additionally, the Cowboys were 3 for 11 on third downs while the Bears converted on 8 of 14 third down plays. Johnson on seeing his vision come to life in Chicago. The first 2 weeks have not gone the way we wanted to, and it's early, but we got to get the issues fixed, and I thought the guys were committed to that this week. We had a good week of preparation, and they came out and played inspired football today. Good things happen when you're playing hard, playing physical, and playing for the guy next to you, and I thought that's what happened here today. Ben Johnson publicly and privately challenged his team's effort after their 31-point loss at the hands of the Detroit Lions in Week 2. Throughout the week, we heard of Chicago's effort and execution in practice being improved, and that was the case on game day as well. Johnson on earning his first regular season win. It'll be fun for tonight, and then we're on to the next one. We're behind the 8 ball here, we're 1-2, and we got to get back to .500. Chicago heads out west to face the Las Vegas Raiders next Sunday afternoon, and then they've got an early bye in Week 5. Assuming the Bears take care of business against a Raiders team that has lost back-to-back games, they could be heading into a Week 6 showdown with the Washington Commanders with a week of rest, a healthier defense, and a collective chip on their shoulder after watching their season get burned to the ground in Washington last year. Ben Johnson speaks about the Bears' offense. Johnson on Caleb Williams' impressive performance, 142.6 passer rating and 4 touchdowns. I thought he was really good. The thing that you don't see on the stat sheet is he's getting a lot more comfortable calling those plays in the huddle. We're able to get out of the huddle a little bit faster, and we were able to get on the line and operate cleaner as well. All of this showed on Sunday. Aside from a shaky 3-and-out on the first drive of the game, the Bears' offense looked almost exactly how Bears fans imagined it would under Ben Johnson. The combination of explosive plays in the first half and a convincing 19-play drive to push the lead to 17 points in the third quarter is vintage Ben Johnson football. Oh, and how about the trick plays that everyone fell in love with in Detroit? Johnson on adding the flea flicker to the game plan this week. We have gadgets up every week. I give the staff a lot of credit. They're going through and watching the tape and finding out things that may or may not fit, whether it was Dallas this year or some of the stuff we were watching of Chicago's defense from yesteryear. That was really a staff find, and like I said, we worked it all week and felt really comfortable calling it this week. That's a long-winded way for Ben Johnson to say, we exploited Matt Eberflus. Johnson on Colston Loveland's injury. Colston was the only one who didn't finish the game. He's got a hip. We'll see how that looks tomorrow. No word yet on Colston Loveland's injury, but it was encouraging to see the rookie tight end get in mix early on with a 31-yard receiving on Chicago's first scoring drive of the game. Ben Johnson highlights key defensive performances. Johnson on Tremaine Edmunds getting a game ball. He was all over the field. 14 tackles, 2 interceptions, and really came through for us in a big way. For my money, this was the best game that Tremaine Edmunds has played in a Chicago Bears uniform, and that was true even before his second interception of the game. Johnson on Tariq Stevenson's bounce-back performance. I thought Tariq in general had a really nice bounce-back game. He's one of those guys, like a lot of us, that we haven't started the season the way we wanted to, but he's capable of being a big-time player in this league, and I thought he played that way today. With Jalen Johnson sidelined for at least another 3 games and Kyler Gordon still on the mend, The Bears needed a performance like this one from Tariq Stevenson. The talent is clearly there for Stevenson to be an impact starter in this league, and that was evident against Dallas. Johnson on getting pressure on Dak Prescott in the second half. When you're up by multiple scores and it turns into a drop-back game, it makes it a lot simpler to tee off. They really did a nice job in those situations. The way they finished the game there in the fourth quarter for us was huge. Hopefully, up multiple scores in the fourth quarter is a situation the Bears find themselves in frequently this season and beyond. It wasn't a pretty one for the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, losing 31-14 to the Chicago Bears. The Bears have been one of the worst defensive teams in the NFL to start the year, but given how poorly the Cowboys' defense has played throughout much of the campaign, it isn't too surprising to see them give up 385 yards and 31 points against Chicago. Things were simple for the Cowboys and head coach Brian Schottenheimer, who is managing the third game of his NFL career. He said it was a humbling loss. He added, however, that it's a game he has to look back on and try to grow from. "We didn't play well," he said, per the official team website. "We didn't play well enough to win, and so that's why we're sitting here with the loss." This is one of the games that you look at and you're like, yeah, I mean, that's humbling and it sucks. But we can play pretty good, and we've got to play better to win in this league. Cowboys should worry about offense. Giving up 31 points in the NFL typically isn't a recipe for success for any team in the league, but for the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott has to be better. While he finished 31 of 40 for 251 yards and 1 touchdown, he also threw 2 interceptions. Speaking to reporters after the game, Prescott said that his focus is clear, stating that he just has to worry about the offensive side of the football. While the defense hasn't played well, his focus remains on what he can control. "I've got to go look at it from the offensive standpoint, and I know scoring 14 points is never going to be okay," said Dak Prescott after the loss. "And damn sure not with this offense, this unit, the team, the players that we have, and 6 of those were field goals. Not acceptable, not to our standard, not anywhere in what we believe in and what we're capable of doing. We had a chance right there to cut it back to 10 points and to turn the ball over in the red zone. That's unacceptable." Dak Prescott gives blunt message to Cowboys. Not having CeeDee Lamb out there for much of the game certainly didn't help the Dallas Cowboys, as Lamb's injury could be a few weeks, depending on the severity. Jerry Jones indicated on Monday that he could be set to hit the IR. However, given the Cowboys haven't found much success over much of the past few years, many fans don't want to hear about the injuries and other excuses. The simple fact of the matter here is that the Cowboys have to play better football, and until they do so, fans won't have much more to say. "We were biting ourselves in the foot," Prescott said. "We're kicking ourselves, and that's the reason that we're not converting to touchdowns, and it's the reason that we're not getting first downs. It's got to start there. Everybody's got to look in the mirror and say, how can I be better?" The scourge of the Dallas Cowboys over the last week has taken on a name, and that name is high ankle sprain. Another Cowboys starter will be out with the injury after ESPN's Todd Archer reported rookie offensive guard, and starter Tyler Booker will be out 4 to 6 weeks. The Cowboys will be without rookie guard Tyler Booker for 4 to 6 weeks because of a high ankle sprain suffered versus the Bears, per source. Archer wrote on his official X account on September 22nd. He played all 74 snaps. TJ Bass looms as starter. Cowboys already without C. Cooper Beebe for at least next 3 games. In the last week alone, Beebe, NFL All-Pro wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and Booker have all been lost to the same injury. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones was non-committal to whether or not Lamb and Booker could wind up on injured reserve. "We're looking at that," Jones told CBS Sports NFL reporter Garrett Podale. "We'll watch it a few more days. We don't have to decide about that." Beebe isn't expected back until Week 8 against the Denver Broncos, at the earliest. Through 3 games, Booker's 224 snaps were first in the NFL among offensive guards, according to Pro Football Focus. Cowboys RG Tyler Booker played every snap against the Bears. Cowboys beat reporter Joseph Hoyt wrote on X. There was one play at the end of the game where Booker potentially had an awkward fall, however. This was the play before the Joe Milton interception. Booker played in the following snap. The Cowboys are 1-2 headed into a Week 4 game against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. Booker brought to Cowboys as elite OL prospect. Booker, 6'5" and 325 pounds, was third offensive lineman drafted by the Cowboys in the last 4 years after being named All-SEC twice at Alabama and earning All-American honors as a junior in 2024. He's tough, smart, and a top leader, NFL draft analyst Lance Zierlein wrote in his pre-draft evaluation. The traits, football character, and play strength will make him a good starter for a downhill, power-based attack. The Cowboys signed Booker to a 4-year, $22.553 million rookie contract. Glowing praise for Booker's off-season work. Booker has been a plug-and-play starter for the Cowboys, which started with proving to his teammates in the offseason he was someone willing to put in the work, which he did before even putting on the pads. Despite the padless practices, Booker has impressed with his willingness to learn and work, ESPN's Todd Archer wrote on June 24th. He has been with the starters from the first OTA through the minicamp, so there's no pretense about what is expected. He is being viewed the same way the Cowboys have viewed Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, and Tyler Smith, as a Day 1 starter. His injury comes after a bravura performance against the Bears. Tyler Booker had his best performance as a pro against Chi, especially in the run game where he was displacing defenders throughout the night. PFF's John Owning wrote on his official X account on September 22nd. Shows off his rotational strength to drive the 3T to the ground here. Tyler Booker had his best performance as a pro against Chi, especially in the run game where he was displacing defenders throughout the night. Shows off his rotational strength to drive the 3T to the ground here.